Hey everyone, this is Kiersten Hall with Fox Pointe Publishing. Thank you for joining us this evening. We are on, I believe, the 5th Fox Talk of 2021. We do this on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday evenings of every month. And this evening we are joined with, going around on my screen here, Kayla Olson-Surface. She is one of our illustrators. Helen Holder, she is one of our authors. We have Raven Eckman, who is editor and author. We have Lyz Tkachuck. She is actually the self-proclaimed bean counter. She's our accounting department and also our honorary HR department. We heap it all on her. And then we also have author Thea Kvamme with us. And so we're going to talk some good news today, and we're going to do recapping of some different events that we've been participating in and what's coming up. Oh, and me, Kiersten. I always forget about me. I am an author, I am a co-publisher, I'm the publicist, and I'm the person that puts together all these events and hounds people to get onto Facebook Live and other live events with me, so I'm not all alone talking to myself. So anyway, and oh, we actually have someone else on here, Brad. He is our web guy, our IT guy. He is the guy that makes this all possible, or I would in fact be sitting here talking all to myself. Anyway, we're gonna get going here. Oh, and if you guys have been watching, how we do this here is in the Q&A, if you can write, ask a question to any one of us, that is the only way we know that you are watching out there. So if you do that, that earns you a chance to win a free book. And this evening's books that we're giving away, we're going to give one of Thea's books away. It's Mausdrachen, Curse of the Laxness, and she'll explain a little more about what this is about and the good news about that. And we're going to give one of Helen's books away. I painted a Magenta Flamingo, and she can kind of fill us in on this as well. It's a very pretty book. And then we have Raven. She just came out with Shadow Speak, and I can't keep these in stock. I'll just put it that much, and she'll tell us all about this. And then I also want to put in a plug for Jelly Beans. This particular book, you can get, if you order through the website through the month of March, website being foxpointepublishing.com, which is FOXPOINTE publishing.com. Both the softcover and the hardcovers are 20% off, and that just naturally rings up when you go through the checkout. So there's that as well. But anyway, okay, so yeah, ask a question and you get to earn a chance, and we'll give away some books, and then I get your mailing address and I put it in the mail tomorrow, and there you go, you get a free book. How cool is that? So we'll start off. Good news. We're going to pick on Thea. I told Thea that we're going to pick on her first, and she's going to tell us all about her most recent good news about Mausdrachen. Hit it.
I've been accepted to write an article for a blog for the authors for Alzheimer's. So I'm pretty excited about that.
And they just recently emailed you, and when did they email you? When did they contact you?
Yesterday I had emailed them, and then I got all the requirements today in an email.
Okay, so now you have more homework. Isn't that great?
Oh yes.
Yay. It's Alz Authors. It's ALZ Authors and .org. I'm pretty sure it is. Mm-hmm. And it's a it's a organization that collects books that have been written about Alzheimer's from authors all over the world. It's a very I don't want to say picky. They're very choosy about the authors that they accept into their organization, because not only, well, obviously they're keeping the bar high, but they also promote the book within the organization and any events they go to, and any people looking for references and whatever. So Mausdrachen will be part of that. And then she'll be, I think, a featured author somewhere in the July or August part of the calendar. And then, of course, her book will be seen and promoted. And then you've got your the article, the blog that you're doing. Or yeah, And so that's this one. Do you want to tell
Mhm.
people a little bit about it? I'll open it up and show people. So how did you get to write
It's a fantasy book. It's a fantasy book from, well, it derives from my mom's Alzheimer's, and she had a stuffed mouse who I promised would keep going on little adventures. So I turned him into the character, and he helps the grandma who has the laxness, which is forgetfulness, come upon her. He helps try and save her.
Okay. And yeah, so what does Mausdrachen mean?
Mausdrachen, it's German.
Okay. And how did you come up with Mausdrachen? I remember you telling me something about your mom and the German language.
She always spoke German. My brother and I both took German in high school. She would spout out things, and I always wanted to know what she was saying. So I took 4 years of German so I could learn.
And what did you learn, or should I not ask?
Some of the things weren't the greatest, but
Okay. Well, sometimes, when you're a mom. So yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, this is Mausdrachen, Curse of the Laxness, and then you're actually working on a sequel to Mausdrachen, right?
Yep. The second one is on depression.
Okay, so yeah, that's with Samantha. We actually have 3 illustrators, and Samantha is working with Thea to do the illustrations on that right now. I don't know where that is in the calendar, so I can't say, but well, I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure, but not for sure. That's like what, September-ish
I
for
think
August, September.
around in there, yeah.
Maybe you're an August release kind of author. August is your month.
It's
Well, August is your
my birthday
birthday.
month.
Yeah, it's your birthday
Yeah.
month. Well, that makes sense. All right. The next good news, Ray, tell us about your good news.
Okay, well, good news. I get to go back to my high school and give 2 presentations for 2 different creative writing classes on my book, Shadow Speak. So I'll be asked some questions and just kind of what's it like being an author. And they know I started as an editor too. So kind of just my background and how I found myself along the way after I graduated high school.
I can't really see much there, but I will tell you this is about a 404-page book.
Yeah.
And there's no pictures, but you can use your imagination.
There's pictures in the beginning.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, good grief. Yes, we have maps and pictures.
We have a map and a picture.
Yes, exactly. And actually, Lyz, you've started reading this, right?
Yeah, I did. It's I'm about 4 chapters in. It's tax busy season, so it's like read a little bit here, read a little bit there. No, it's good. It's hard to put down. And I did buy the one for my daughter, and I'm like, no, you can't read this yet. And she's like, please,
Yeah, no.
please, mom. And I'm like, no, not till I'm done. At least not till I'm done. So yeah, she was a little peeved at me for not letting her read it.
Well,
but yeah.
I mean, it's for older readers. Like, it's a new adult dark fantasy. So we got some horror elements, we got some psychological elements, some cult elements. So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's you know what I don't have a buzz phrase, and I asked Ray, she'll get that to me here. But I've been telling, and I don't know if this is right, but I've been likening it to sort of like Stephen King, but not totally Stephen King, maybe without the murders, maybe some, but you know what I mean? And people are still like, what? So I really need the buzz phrase, but am I close? I mean, I've read little bits and pieces of, but I haven't sat down and read it completely yet.
I mean, I would love to be worthy of Stephen King's status or like a comparison to him. I love Stephen King. He's one of my favorite authors. So possibly, but
well,
as of right now, it's kind of hard to as an author because I'm so close to it. And so when people ask you to describe it or like, what's your like catchphrase or something for it, I just kind of look at them funny and I'm like, it's my book. And then I like,
Well,
hey, and then that's as far as I get. I'll be like the back, the summary, like
well,
there's some reviews somewhere.
well, I've been snapping up the reviews as they've been coming in, and they're either it's interesting. It's either wow, and just it's deep or it's dark or whatever. And it's a very small 4 or 5 page, or it's a 4 or 5 paragraph review, because I think people start. It's so psychologically driven that people get into that mindset and really. I mean, all of a sudden they come up with this review that's like 30 pages long. So, that's a good thing.
Well, there's actually, I mean, there's I can't say it as spoiler wise, but I was actually talking to my sister that read it, and then my grandmother had also read it, and they were both like, well, this whole thing that was supposed to be avoided actually did happen in the long run. And I just was like, I'm so glad somebody picked up on that, because I don't know if at the very end, after you read it, the whole concept of the book, it comes full circle, and I don't know if that'll be realized. So it's exciting that it is getting picked up on.
Yeah, and
then the prequel and the sequel, when they come out, we'll see what happens.
well, and people have also pointed out that they are definitely going to read it a second and a third time to just get it all.
Yeah, there's things you miss.
Yeah, so that is the good news there, and that is one of the books. Yeah, that'll be that's one of the books we're giving away tonight. So if you like, this is where I need my tagline: a psychological fantasy, dark fantasy, new adult, have to read it 2 or 3 times, get the full story. It's a really good book and well written, brilliantly written. I've heard brilliantly written in reviews. So good. There you go. All right. Let's see who to pick on next. Okay, and Helen's got some good news.
Well, last weekend I got to take part in the Deep Valley Book Festival. I was on a panel with one other person. There were just 2 of us. We were thinking we were going to be in a crowd, so we would only have to answer 1 or 2 questions, but we had to handle all of them. And it was kind of scary going in, but it was really fun. We talked about writing children's story. My partner in crime has written some for younger children, but mostly I think she writes for young adults and teenagers or older kids, but then I do. I usually write for the 3 to 7-year-old crowd. And so we just talked about how we decided, how we got into writing, how we do writing, and answered lots of questions about particularly children's books.
Okay. And I'm going to see if there are any questions. Christy says hi. Okay, so she's our personal assistant who is out in Oregon that keeps us somewhat, well, she keeps us definitely organized on social media. And thank you very much, Christy. Okay, so how long does it normally take to write a children's book? Well, before we get into Christy's question, also, Helen has got, what, 1 or 2 more books coming up this year, maybe?
Well, I'm working on a sequel to An Unusual Tale, and I have one that's already in the pipeline.
Yeah, right there.
And about gravity, it was inspired by my grandson's kindergarten class singing about an apple falling on Isaac Newton's head. And then I have some other stories started, including one that I think might turn out to be a chapter book for, say, it's like 8 and 9-year-old kids. So
okay.
I have several started. I just have to get working on finishing them. That's the key.
That, and you have to get into Kayla's calendar. That's the other key there.
Right. Yes.
She's busy.
If you need pictures, then you have to get the illustrator on board too.
Exactly. All right, and Kayla, what's going on in your world?
Well, I also was able to participate in the Deep Valley Book Festival this last weekend, so that was fun. I did a workshop with Kim Hanzo, another illustrator with Fox Pointe, and we did 10 steps to creating or illustrating a children's book. So that was kind of fun. And I'd say in about a week or so, I'll be finishing up Kiersten Hall's Scout. I'm working on illustrations for that right now. So it's going well.
Yep, and when I say that Helen needs to get on Kayla's schedule, Kayla's booked till like August-ish, could be into September by now. So yeah, lots of good stuff coming. Yeah, so for me, Kayla's finally, no, I shouldn't say finally, I should say I am finally on someone's schedule. But yeah, my book Scout is coming out end of April, May, probably May. It's kind of geared around my grand puppy. I don't have any grandchildren, but I do have a grand puppy. And his name really is Spunky, but he's going by Scout in this book. And it talks about him being adopted into a family and all the responsibilities that come with being a new puppy in a family. So that's what that's all about. So another fun book for the 3 to 7 year old crowd. Okay, and then Lyz, did I ask you? I'm starting to lose my mind here. Okay, so Lyz, yes, good news in your world, and I know business is expanding, and what do you want to tell us?
So yeah, I mean, other than, with Fox Pointe News, I'm excited about the sales department thing. I think that's just really fun because now I'm getting the other aspect of Fox Pointe on top of it. For Full Circle bookkeeping and accounting, we are anticipating maybe not kind of him and Han moving into our own space so we can stop working out of our homes. Yeah, I know the planning that goes along with it, but we have expanded quite a bit in the last 30 days alone.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been real. It's, multitasking at its finest, really, and helping me organize, future onboarding with clients and stuff like that. So it's really a learning, crash course in learning how to do business, really.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's Full Circle's exciting news.
Yes. So,
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
you've been drop kicked into the deepest end of the ocean and said, well, okay, have fun. Well,
Yeah,
good
pretty
deal.
much learn how to swim.
Uh-huh. Oh,
But
here
yeah,
comes.
no, I think
What were you saying?
the Fox Pointe, I'm really getting the full spectrum of Fox Pointe now that we have that sales department too. It's really fun working with everything. So yeah, you're right. I pretty much have become the HR department too.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very
yeah.
much. Yeah. Yeah, what Lyz is talking about, we're adding, well, we have added 4 new sales reps, I think. Is it 4? We've got, yeah, we have Maria, Jeff, Zach. Oh, and
Brian.
Jennifer. And yeah, so 4 new sales reps. So right now, the only places you really can get our books are through our website, thefoxpointepublishing.com. You can also find them on Amazon, and there are a handful of bookstores and libraries that have them. That will expand, obviously, once the economy starts opening up, because good timing. We opened Fox Pointe about a month and a half before a pandemic, so good timing. But yeah, we are working with libraries, retailers, gift shops, toy stores, all that kind of thing. And so yeah, there you go. All right, so Christy's question and if you're just joining us, ask a question in the chat, and that earns you a chance to win a book. And so for Christy's question, we're already 6:17, so we'll answer this. How long does it normally take to write a children's book? Helen, you're on. Oh,
I don't know if you mean in years or hours, but it takes me a long time just to write, and then I decide I want to go a different direction, and then you put that in there, and then you go back and do this, and Then you have to turn it over to the illustrators and the editors, and there's a lot of going back and forth there. So I don't know. I gave, let's say, it didn't take me long to write David's Pretzels, and it didn't take a really long time to write An Unusual Tale, but then by the time you add up all the times that you need to go back and look at things over again, I don't know. It's took years. How about that?
Well, you did a very good job. Those are hard to keep in stock too. She's got 6 different books. And if you look at our website and then look under professionals and then look at Helen's picture, it'll open up into all the different books that she has available. Thea, how about you? How long did it take you to put Mausdrachen together?
My first one took 3 years of revising everything. The second one I wrote in 2 days.
Yeah, I'm a fast writer too. Once I get an idea, and mainly because if I don't, I'll forget about it. It'll come in that fast and it'll go right out the door. So I have to
Yep.
stop everything and then right. And Ray, is there anything you want to put towards, the particular thing about, how long it might take you to write a book with illustrations involved?
Okay, well, yes, I mean, technically, I actually do have a picture book coming out with Fox Pointe in August. So it's called Itchy Pants. So there's like details to come because it's definitely a new fun thing for me. In terms of writing it, it actually took me maybe a week, but then revising and everything like that. And I still have yet to begin the editing process on that. So I know it's going to get a full makeover before it actually finally goes to illustrations. So it's like a learning process, like how Thea said, sometimes it takes you years, for a regular novel for Shadow Speak, it took me 6 years full circle for everything. So it really depends, but don't stop. Sometimes you actually do have to put it aside, but then other times it'll just flow so fast that you'll kind of get caught in a tailspin and then wonder how it all came together.
And be very proud of what you put out there in the world, that's for sure. Shadow Speak is a very impressive book. And I only pounced around on the roundabout illustrated book because I saw on Instagram that you did put something out about Itchy Pants. And I don't know if that was your formal.
Yeah, that was my formal announcement. I was looking for my future best-selling author t-shirt and I lost it. So I don't know if that's a sign or if I packed it away or my dog ate it. I don't know. But it was ta-da!
Well, it's a sign that you just have to buy a new shirt. That's all it is.
It's a new shirt. Yeah.
That's all it is. Okay, so for Christy, I will send you Mausdrachen. And okay, for everyone, if you're joining us right now, I don't know what time it is. Here we go. Ask a question in the Q&A. We've got an accountant, our quasi HR department. I shouldn't say quasi though. She's doing a lovely job. We have illustrators, editors, publishers, publicists, lots of authors. Did I miss anything? We have a lot of people, or at least a lot of people that wear a lot of different caps. So if you have any questions for us, let us know. It popped back into my head. I know I asked Ray this, but okay, if you could have a dinner party with 2 or 3, authors or illustrators, whoever, who would you have at your dinner party? And what would the conversation be like? So one of my fun filler questions, I'm going to start with Lyz first. Pick on you first.
Ooh, that's a good question. See, you sprung it on me. If it were author related, like Stephen King, I think, that was one of my favorite authors growing up. So it'd be really fun to kind of pick his brain a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not creative whatsoever, but yeah, I think him author related anyways.
Yeah. All right, cool. And if Ashlyn is watching, Ashlyn is one of our authors. She writes horror. And hopefully her first book will be out here maybe late summer, early fall. I don't know where she falls in the whole editing schedule, being that I'm not the editing department, but that should be interesting. And I want to say her working title right now is Dismay. So,
Oh, I'm excited. I want to read it.
yeah, huh?
Me too.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I was like, oh, it's a horror book. I want to read it.
Exactly. Okay, Thea, if you had a dinner party with in the literary realm, what one or two or three? Who?
R.L. Stein.
Okay. And
Just because I grew up reading those books and I loved them.
would you ever write in that type of genre?
I'd like to, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I bet for as fast as you write and how fast you get your different ideas, I bet one of these days, do you think you'll ever move from the children's genre to something else? I mean, you can still always write in children's, but
I'm really hoping to.
okay, well, that would be cool. All right, Helen, who would be at your dinner party?
Well, from the last Deep Valley Book Fair that was, you could tune in and listen to the interviewers talk. I loved Kate DiCamillo, and this time Margie Prius was so much fun just to listen to him talk, which is people ought to, I mean, I don't care if you write books or not, but just to go and listen to the authors talk was so much fun. I also really like Beverly Cleary, and Russell and Lillian Hoban are another ones of my favorites. Just writers are really fun people.
Well, darn straight we are, yes. And actually, you won one of Margie's books, didn't you? The Little
Yes.
Voyager? Yeah, I thought so. I heard your name
Well,
go
I
by.
actually had bought it before to read ahead of time. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
now my granddaughter will get the copy. So
Okay, well, very cool.
good.
And we keep making reference to the YouTube channel and stuff. If you go to YouTube and do a search for Deep Valley Book Festival, it'll pop up. And I think I've got about 3 more videos that I have to upload, and then all of this past weekend's videos will be up to date. And then we're gonna do more stuff with that in October. So anyway, all right, Kayla, you're having a dinner party. And so you have the entire crew from Pixar, and who else?
Anybody from Pixar? And I also like R.L. Stein, so they'd probably be lingering in the background, you know, eating hors d'oeuvres as everyone's sitting down. You know.
Okay. And then Ray, how about you?
I'm gonna invite the Brothers Grimm just because I love fairy tales and I would love to talk with them. That'd be pretty cool. And I mean, I guess if modern day though wise, I would love to talk with Lee Bardugo. She is queen. I love her so much. I did actually get to meet her in person. I don't remember what I said because I just kind of stared awestruck and maybe like cried afterwards. But we don't talk about that. I got to meet her. Like I saw her, so that counts.
All right. And as for my favorite authors, I would have to probably have 2 dinner parties because I just can't see these 2 going over well. My first dinner party, well, it would just me and Irma Bombeck. She was my first favorite author, and she still is probably my favorite author. She is hilarious. I have all of her books, and I love the comedy, you know. And then in my other dinner party, which would be a completely whole different ball game, would be Hunter Thompson, the Gonzo journalist, where he, you know, matter of fact, what was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Do you remember the attorney? Or no, it was written around that story that he had done for I forget the magazine, but he had done that article of the motorcycle races or something out in the Las Vegas desert, and that was that whole thing. But yeah, he does a lot of just out there kind of journalism and stuff, and so I would but yeah, you can see why I can't put Irma and Hunter times. It'd be odd. Okay, there you go. I read some rather weird and eclectic stuff, and there you go. All right, so Randy asks, how many libraries have your books? Well, that all depends on, like I said, we started Fox Pointe about 6 weeks before, well, 6 to 8 weeks before, you know, the party really started going with COVID, and things started shutting down, and libraries had their budgets frozen. And we have been talking with libraries now for about the last month and a half, and the librarians have all told us that they are just eager beyond eager to start shopping and going out and looking for books, and they can't wait till the budget freezes get lifted, and then they can start shopping. So right now, what I would suggest, you know, you can always check with your library and see if they have any of our titles, or if you happen to buy any of the titles from the website, or if you happen to be really good friends with your librarian, send them to our website. Libraries actually can buy their books wholesale from us, anywhere from 30 to 40% off from retail. So if you want to share Fox Pointe books and our publishing website with them, they can contact us and we'll get them in the loop. But the goal here, I found out there are 16,866 public libraries in the United States. And if you guys, anyone out there remembers Pinky and the Brain, where Pinky's, you know, nightly game plan was to take over the world like they do every day, I'm Pinky. So my plan is to have our books in all 16,866 libraries. And if there are any librarians watching right now, just know you'll hear from me. And hopefully that's a good thing. But yeah, so we really do put out quality books. Matter of fact, Lyz, were you saying that you were, I think you mentioned you were scrolling through some social media and that our books stood out to you? You went back?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I think it was on Facebook, or it might have been Instagram too. I was just randomly scrolling, and even though automatically I know, but it caught my eye, and I went back and I'm like, oh, that's Fox Pointe book.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do stand out.
Yeah, our books are really beautiful, and I will point out, I mean, obviously the books start with the author to begin with, but the illustrations, our designer, our printer, I mean, they do a really nice job. Anyway, all right, so that is Randy. And okay, so Kayla, is Randy related to one of you?
Here's my mom.
Oh, well, see, there you go. What book tonight should we give your mom?
Do the I do's, because I want to read that.
Oh, okay.
Or your Miss.
All right. So Randy, Kayla's mom, you're getting I do. So Kayla can read the book. There we go.
I can read it.
All right. And then we got another question for anyone just joining us here. To earn a chance to win a free book, please type a question in the chat box, and we will ask that, and that earns you a chance to win a book. How cool is that? All right, Christy says, what would you say is your best advice to someone who would love to start to write but doesn't know where to start? Helen, you're up.
I'd say just take a piece of paper and start writing. And Margie Prius said this too. You just start writing. Some of it's going to be, she said crap, but you know, maybe not that bad. But if you just write any thoughts that come into your head, you can pick out something that might be developed later.
Yep, oh, that's true. All right, Ray, what would you say?
I myself have, most of my books have come about from just one thing that some child. Listen. Write down something. Oh, somebody said something funny, write that down. Might turn into a story.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, you're living proof for writing little tidbits down and turning it into stories. All right, Ray, what would your advice be to an aspiring writer?
Definitely the writing thing, like just write. I mean, if it doesn't pertain to your story or you're working on something and suddenly you have like 6 chapters later a scene that you want to write, definitely write it down. Don't try to, if unless you can work in a linear fashion like that and like have everything in its place, that's fine. If not, so for myself, I actually worked on Shadow Speak. I had the beginning and the end, and then I worked on the middle and tidbits as I revised. So it just like I write, and then like exactly like Helen said, if you're out somewhere and something really sticks with you, whether it's like a person that did like some kind of like they gave a bird a piece of food, or it's just whatever the action is, like think of why it sticks with you and then how it could relate to something in your story, whether it's for a main character or a minor character. You'll be surprised.
Thea, how about you?
I say just start writing and keep revising till you like it.
Yep. My advice to an aspiring writer is you're going to hear a lot of negative people telling you that you can't do it. And that my favorite was always the answer I got was cut my hair, learn how to type, and get a real job. That was my, we won't discuss who told me that because I'm still related to her. But yeah, a lot of people will tell you that you can't do it. But if you know you can do it, just go out and do it, because it's going to bug the knickers out of you if you don't do it. It's going to just ride on you. So get it out on paper. The other thing I tell people is, even if you think it's stupid or it's garbage or whatever the case may be, don't throw it away, because you might be able to pilfer from it later. It would be a future idea. And yeah, write. And I'm not good at this, where you're supposed to make sure you write every day. I would love to write every day, but I get busy and there's just not enough time in the day. I also say that about exercising. There's just no time for it. So I am not a good example there, but that's what I would do. And I was going to ask Kayla, for someone who is aspiring to illustrate, what would you say? What would your advice be?
Just draw. Just keep practicing and someone will notice you, I guess, and just keep trying. Just even if you don't like your artwork, someone will like it. Just keep on going. You will improve. I'll keep going. So
the key is to let's see. Well, draw a really good bear fishing with a father bear at the end of a dock.
you're supposed to scroll on Facebook late at night and look for people asking for illustrators.
Yep. Yeah, you'll be amazed at who you'll find looking for illustrators on Facebook. That's where we found Kayla, and she took us up on it. And was it your grandfather who said you'd never find anything on Facebook or something? Yeah, so
my grandpa isn't a fan. I was really excited to tell him where I found Fox Pointe.
by the way, all right, Lyz, I know you don't illustrate, you don't write, but what would you tell anyone who decides to break out of the corporate world and start their own business, which I know you did?
Yes. Oh, the biggest thing is ignore the fear. I heard someone say that fear and excitement feel the same. The emotion feels the same. And sometimes excitement is, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Covered by fear. We think it's fear, but it's not. Just do it. Life is too short to have regrets. Mm-hmm. So, even if you fail, at least you tried. Not a lot of people do that.
No, that's true. And what's that? If you shoot for the moon, and if you miss it, you land still among the stars. You land among the stars, or whatever. Yeah, I don't even know the phrase.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, all right. So The next person that asks a question, you have your choice of either, whoops, falling over here, shadow speak. If you're into, well, put it this way, if you don't have any kids and you want a book just for yourself, there you go, Shadow Speak. This is by Raven Eckman. Just came out on February 23rd. I mean, this is like a, well, I shouldn't say a baby book, but this is like baby in the age of publishing. It's like 2 weeks old, isn't it? It was 2 weeks ago, it was February 23rd. Yeah, if you want a 2-week-old published, yeah. And like I said, I can't keep it on the shelf. I need to reorder. Anyway, and then, or you get a choice of I Painted a Magenta Flamingo, which this one does come with pictures and it comes with facts about flamingos. And here, I'll see if I can. I have one picture in here that's just one of my favorites. Hold on, it's in here. I've seen, oh, here it is. Isn't that pretty? That's Magenta Flamingo. I don't know how many of you guys have seen this book, but the kids can color their own flamingo in the back. And here are all the pictures, or all the splotches, the color splotches of all the different colors mentioned in the book. This is, Helen, this might be my favorite of all your books, but I'm such a color freak. I love all the colors, and I mean, she's got turquoise and diamond and moonbeam and jasmine. I mean, she's got all these beautiful colors in here. You know, it's beyond your regular red, green, and blue monkey business routine. All right, so for the next person that asks a question, I'll send that to you. Oh, and it's Randy, look at that. Mom gets another book. How long does it take to start making a profit on the investment of getting published? Well, there's a fun one. Minus COVID. Randy, you're putting us on the spot. Okay, then. I'm going to preface it with, had there not been a pandemic, it's a lot faster. Because libraries aren't on budget freezes and bookstores have customers that peruse their books. And, you know, obviously some people will go into a bookstore knowing exactly what they want. And then other people like me have a cup of coffee and we start walking the aisles for what could turn into 2-3 hours just for fun. And just perusing, and then of course perusing, you know, once you have that snap purchasing, it's like, ooh, I have to have this book. And that's actually how a lot of people sell books, or really anything else for that matter. I mean, you think about how many times you go to Target for toilet paper and walk out with $300 worth of stuff you never knew you needed, but now you have it. So yeah, so if the economy was still open and we didn't have a pandemic, the investment gets paid back a lot faster. But I know Thea can tell us a little bit about, and I'll let everyone tell about it, but let's just remember, if there wasn't a pandemic, it's a lot faster. And I can't wait until the economy opens up and everyone gets inoculated. And oh my gosh, when we go back to normal, or somewhat close to normal, as Lyz put it, probably a few months ago, Fox Pointe is positioned to explode, and it is. We're going to have quite the rest of 2021 and on, that's for sure. But all right, Thea, do you want to tell us about your, you don't have to do hard numbers, but your investment, what you've seen? I know you had a killer weekend, like at the end of July or early August.
Yeah, I sold almost 100 of my books between soft cover and hardcover.
Yeah.
And I still have people asking if I have copies, so I've sold a few more here and there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
And that was from her kitchen table over the course of what, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember talking with her. She goes, I have never made so much money on one weekend. I'm like, All right,
Yep.
Helen, how about you?
Well, I can't say that I would, I'm retired, so I have a pension, so okay. But you know, it's not just the monetary part either. I think if you're going to do it just for oh, I want to make money, you might be disappointed, but the other benefits are great enough to carry you over until you do make a profit, in case you do.
Yep, yep. And I know Helen's got both soft and hard covers of all of her books, and you've got like a guaranteed list of people that every time you have a new book come out, yeah,
Yes,
she
I
has,
have some people that are buy every single one that comes out, whether regardless.
yeah,
And then I
she,
had somebody who just walked into my house while he was actually delivering mail that got misdelivered, and so he bought one of everything. So there you go.
well, there you
You
go.
never tell when you're going to make a sale.
That's true. Yeah, so she has a built-in mailing list of people all over the country that buy her books. And I know Thea has, you have books going all over the place too, like Montana and Texas and Arizona and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah. And then Ray, so you're 2 weeks into having it published and such. But how many books would you say that you sold, or are people chasing you down the street yet?
Well, so I got when I first ordered my first order, I was kind of like, all right, I got like the bare minimum, like who ordered what. I didn't get any extras. That was just kind of like how my mind worked. And I sold out like right away because of other people that had been like, oh, hey, I saw you were getting the book kind of thing. So then I did another order just recently and I sold my last copy today and I didn't get the order in yet. So I'm gonna need
Yeah.
to do another one.
Mhm.
But I know for myself when I started, as cliche and corny as it is, it was just basically like I wanted it out there. Like it was time. I either was gonna not write anymore or I was going to follow through with it. And like my story was going to be there. So I mean, 2 weeks out, haven't seen like, not sure where it's going, but I definitely had fun along the way, and it was super fun creating like the swag and different things. I guess the farthest copy that I know of, I sent one to Canada, a friend of mine that lives up there. I had to fill out like the customs report and all that stuff. It was a little scary, but that was fun. And then I know somebody bought one, another friend of mine from Australia.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see where they all go too.
Yeah. And I will say, with all of my, probably, yeah, I've got 5 books out right now, and I've broken even on all of them years ago. You know, they put it this way again. Further proof: once the economy opens up, to recoup your investment in publishing is not hard to do. If you do the footwork and the marketing and I shouldn't say do as I say, but when I give you an idea of like, hey, tell everyone on the planet that you have a book for sale and start selling, and here are the numbers and whatever. Thea is good living proof, as is Helen and probably Ray, that it works. So, but you have to tell people. Yeah, so that's I haven't yeah, I've got to start telling you, okay, everyone, I've got Scout coming out soon. Buy it, please. Thank you. All right. I should take my own advice. But yeah, so when the world is open, the return on investment is not hard. When you can go out to different events and bookstores and libraries and toy stores start buying, and coffee shops and gift shops and tourist traps and whatever else, it's not hard to get out there. It's just the COVID thing has been, kind of squished the fun out of it. Okay, well, I don't have any other questions, and so we're going to give away. Randy is getting I Do, and I will also check Randy if you want Flamingo or Shadow Speak. And Christy, you're getting Mausdrachen. And is there anything else that you guys want to say before we sign off? Don't all speak at once. Okay.
I guess I will super quick after your advice when it was talking about like don't stop writing and then after it's published.
Mhm.
So this is coming from personal experience, but not everybody is going to like it when it's published, or like, I mean, when you're writing it and then after. So learn how, like, the constructive criticism of it, and kind of, and take it for what it is, but definitely don't let it completely crush you in terms of like, I'm never writing again or anything like that. Like, just keep working on it and keep honing your craft, and sometimes like you'll have like a masterpiece, and other times you'll have to keep working on it.
Yeah, I'll definitely second that. For I don't write all in children's genre. I have some fiction / nonfiction work, novels, and I have a humorous memoir as well. And not everyone likes it. I have a 1-star review. But anyway, I have a lot of 5 stars too. So, but yeah, you can't please everyone. And like I said, there will be people who will tell you that you can't do it and it's not worth the time and blah, blah, blah. And you just go, okay, thank you for your opinion, and then go do it. Because otherwise it's just going to eat away at you for the rest of life. And life is too short to be having someone nagging you. I do have one other question from Christy. She asks, what would be the length that a person should do for their first book? Thea, I'm going to pick on you again. For a children's book, what do you think the length is for a good?
However long it ends up being to be good, because my view as a children's book was, like 10 pages, and mine's what, 52?
Something like that.
Something like that. So I don't think there's a limit on it.
Yep. All right, Helen, how about you?
Well, that's probably the same. The first one I did was an alphabet book, but it had 3 letters on every page. So that's like 16 pages.
Yeah, I think David's Pretzels is 22 pages, I think.
Yeah. So when you start and when you get to them done, you're done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, and Ray, how long would you say a good first length of the book would be?
So it really depends on age and genre. There's different estimates out there, from anywhere from like 50,000 to like 80,000, 90,000 words. So it really depends. I know for myself, my very first draft was 40,000, and then like the more you revise and come up with it, then you'll like get it up there. But definitely especially when you're first drafting, and then you're even revising your drafts, so you have multiple drafts, don't be like super worried about the word count at first. Just make sure you have the bones and like the structure of the story. And then after that, when you start adding in, then it comes to a point where, depending on what your word count is, it's like, am I adding things in because it's like fluff, or am I adding things in because it's necessary for the story? So then you can kind of, the more you write, maybe the more you have, the more you could then cut out to make sure it's as crisp and like flows as possible for what you want. So basically write and see what happens, and then keep going.
Exactly. Ray is a perfect one to answer that, being that she does editing as well.
Yes.
And as for me, my I Do book is 49,000 words, I think. That's my humorous memoir. My Corner Confessions, that one came in around, I want to say 72,000 words. The Lies We Live, which was the second in the series, that was around 97,000 words. And then my 4th book, Jelly Beans, has like 200 words. It was quite the difference. And then I don't know how long the Blue Frog or Scout is, but I'll tell you this much, it's not 97,000 words. And it really depends on the age that you're writing for. My next 2 books, well, Scout is like 40 pages, Blue Frog is not 40 pages, and Jelly Beans is like 50 pages. So I mean, again, also write until you have no more to write. And then of course, if it's illustrated though, the illustrations go with the words, so that might make it longer or shorter. So you have no idea. Speaking of Jelly Beans, I'm going to do one more last plug for this. If anyone, because it is springtime, Easter, so we call it jelly bean season around here. if you're interested in this book, it teaches anti-bullying, acceptance, being good to people, relationships, accepting yourself. That's a big thing. And it's for the 0 to 6 year crowd, but I have a lot of adults who buy this book that don't even have kids. They pick up this book. Both hardcover and softcover through our website is 20% off through the month of March, and that 20% just gets automatically added in as soon as you're doing the checkout. So the website is FOXPOINTE publishing.com. And all of our books are available on there. And that is pretty much about it. So I'm going to say thank you to Kayla Olson-Surface. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. I'm still coming off the weekend of the Deep Valley Book Festival. But anyway, Kayla is one of our illustrators, and she's booked, and she has lots and lots of things she's going to be putting out here this year, and probably into next, until Pixar comes and steals her. I have nightmares about this, you know. I'm just pointing that out. And then we have Helen Holder. She's got a few books coming in this year, and she's got her 6 from 2020 in the Helen Holder, hashtag the Helen Holder collection. We have Thea Kvamme down there. She's part of All's Authors now, the organization. She's got her 2nd book, Vapors of Sadness, I think it is. It deals with depression, and apparently she's going to be an August release author because her birthday is that month, and that just makes perfectly good sense to me. Lyz, she's our HR and bean counter, and she's the, as I put in our intro emails to everyone, she is the one person you really need to know because she'll pay you. Get a hold of Lyz. And then of course Raven Eckman, she is our editor extraordinaire here, and yeah, you'll have to give me the exact date of when your 1-year anniversary is with us. I know it's in March, and I'll get a $5.
It's actually in April.
Oh, okay. So I still have a month to get the $5 McDonald's gift certificate to you. Okay, good job.
Man, I want some French fries. Okay, my McDonald's coupon for some French fries and milkshake.
I remember you saying that. I'm like, well, heck, if she's all jacked up on this, I can do a $5. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you. I'm sorry, what?
I said, I'll take it. I was like, I could eat some French fries and a milkshake right now. It's fine.
Okay, we can do that. And then, of course, thank you to Brad, who helps us run these Fox Pointe events. So, okay, the next time we will be back will be Tuesday, March 23rd. And yeah, we hope to see you, and check out our YouTube channel. It's Fox Pointe Publishing. And if you're looking for the Deep Valley events, it's Deep Valley Book Festival on YouTube, and our website and all that. And if you're on the Books by Fox Pointe Facebook page right now, you've got all of our links anyway. All right, well, I thank you so much for joining us this evening. Everyone that ordered or won a book, I'll get in touch with you and get all the information, and that's fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.